Okay, I'm doing my due diligence on whether I should apply for the United States Postal Service at age 71. So guess what I'm doing? I'm doing my due diligence. I'm asking people about not only my YouTube, I'm asking them about, do you know anyone? Do you know anyone that currently works for the USPS? And you know what's funny? I stopped one mailman at the library. How did I notice he was United States Postal Service? He had the postal blue uniform. And guess what I asked him? I asked this gentleman how he liked it. First of all, I asked him how long he's been there. The answer? 10 years. Number 2, I asked, what about your uniform? Your uniform is unique, you know? And he had, in the state of Florida, he had long pants on, which surprised me. So I asked him about the uniform. It's official. You can't just go online and buy this exclusive equipment and gear unless you're an employee and you're a federal employee. So you're basically covered by the federal government when it comes down to safety and so on. And I asked him if he liked it. He said, yeah, but there's a couple things. Number 1, the trucks, the vehicles are very hot and they do not blow air conditioning. I don't know how old they are, but we know that the USPS is celebrating its 250th year celebration, along with the military, Army, Navy, and Marines, I believe it is. Why aren't we acknowledging that? Okay, I'm talking about the United States. So, he said the other thing is, it's really hot here. It's really hot, and don't forget, we walk. We walk door to door. In this case, he walks door to door. So, I asked him, do you actually pay for that? He goes, yeah, we get an allowance every year, approximately $500. And so I asked him, okay. He goes, the biggest hit are the shoes, the official shoes. You can't use any other shoes. It's uniform directed, but he said they're very expensive, like $250 for these shoes. Now, were they Nikes? He didn't know the brand. He said, and he showed them to you. He didn't take them off. He just showed me. They're all black, and but $250 for a pair of shoes. Oh my God! And once a year. Now, what about the rest? The shirt, $48. The pants, $80. The hat, $15. Okay, so that $400, $500 goes like that. So I just wanted to say that, listen, as you know, I'm looking at the USPS. Should I apply at 71 years old? I do know this. I could never make it physically. These guys are working hard. And he did mention after 10 years, he's going to get to the finish line. He likes it. He said, the management, the preparation and so on is very difficult. They don't have the technology or the facilities to really make it more efficient. So I'm sure they're going to work on that. Now, he was probably in his 40s. I didn't ask him his age. He was not in the military. I asked him if he was in the military prior. He said no. I said, how tough was it to get the job? How hard was it to get the job? He says, well, 10 years ago, it was probably, it wasn't that difficult to apply. He doesn't remember how long it took him, but there's training and so on, of course. But he said what's happening today is some of these people that are even hired, they don't even make it a month. That's how hard it is. And then you got to be smart, man. These are professional carriers. You got to know what you're doing, So I'm very impressed with, this guy in his early 40s, and he's going for it. Okay? And I saw him talking outside to some of the security at the library. Very nice. He was very nice to me, and I thought that was cool. I wanted to tell him about my YouTube station, but I didn't, or channel. Now, this is how I'm excited about that. I'm asking everybody, do you know anybody that was a carrier or is a carrier? I go in, get my eyes checked today, every 6 months I get them examined because I have cataracts. And everything was going good. And then I'm starting to hit a lot of views and a lot of interested parties and a lot of comments from the USPS people. And so I just brought it up. They ask you, nonchalantly, how's your day going today and so on. I said, yeah, it's going pretty good. And then we just happened to be talking. And then all of a sudden I said, do you know anybody that's works for the USPS? She goes, yeah, my husband. I said, what? My husband. I said, you got to be kidding me. She goes, no. I would say she was probably early 30s, okay, married with a baby boy, 2 years old. I says, wow, does he like it? She goes, yeah, he likes it. It's a lot of hard work, but we're looking at the future. We're looking at retirement. We're looking at the benefits. We're raising a 2-year-old. We probably won't have any more kids, okay? So that discussion went on in a positive way. And I'm trying to think what else that was kind of important that she said. She said he looks good in his uniform. I thought she was talking about a fireman or a serviceman or something. She goes, no, he looks really good, in his uniform every day. USPS, what do they call it? Postal blue. Their unique colors and their stripes and so on. So I'm going to start talking about uniforms here pretty soon, okay? Now, she talked about the great benefits. He works hard and so on. But here's what else she added. My brother-in-law. Oh, did I mention that he served in the service first? He was in the military first. Then he came out and got the job. And they dated for 10 years before they got married. I thought that was beautiful. Got to know each other's families and so on. They did exactly what I thought. And they're Catholic. They got married in the church. She was proud of that. So it was like, wow. So you went through the whole process of getting married in the Catholic Church? He goes, yep. I says, well, I just went through an annulment. It's the real deal. I wish I would have listened going through the process of premarital retreats and consultation by the Catholic Church. Because now I realize it's for the individual to really do their research and their trust and their due diligence on the future spouse and the future family. But here's what was interesting. Her brother-in-law works for USPS. So it's kind of a family thing. And as I mentioned before, you got great benefits. You could retire at an early age and so on. So, I'm giving these people a lot of credit, man. So I'm going to stop more and more people. Now, the comments that are coming in are saying, I would say 95% of them are very positive on my YouTube channel comment. Rock, it's a great job and so on. Everyone's got an issue about management, though. Hey, we could criticize all we want, but believe me, that happens in the private sector too. Okay? That people aren't too sharp or they don't understand the process. They haven't fucking did what you are doing, which is walking the streets. Be proud. Now, I'm going to talk about the USPS more and more. Why? Because it's servicing our country. I'm a patriot. I'm sure you are. This is positive stuff. Okay? We all know it's hard work. But you know what? It pays off. Stay clean. Live your life. Because I'm telling you, at my age of 71, now that I got Medicare and my Social Security, it's a big bonus, man. Big bonus. And if you save for a rainy day and have retirement and benefits and so on, good for you. Good for you. You deserve it. So that's kind of what I'm thinking is I'm going to talk more and more. I believe somebody put on the channel, Rock, you might not be too good as a carrier, but you'd be a good office guy. Well, yeah. Yeah. And I don't think it's going to be an employee. I think where I could most contribute my talent and my strategies in helping the efficiency in the operations and the branding especially, in understanding the hard work of people like yourself, the carriers, you want to be proud. I say get the right equipment, give you the right tools. That includes equipment, iPads, shorts, in wintertime, coats. But you know what? Ralph Lauren would be great designer for USPS. You know, he does the graphics and the Olympics. Why not the USPS? The USPS uniforms haven't been touched or redesigned for years. And as we know, the trucks. Now, I did ask about the trucks. The gentleman at the library, and he goes, I said, you know, they're coming out with new trucks and they'll have air conditioning. He's going, yeah, but they've been saying that as long as I've been there. In other words, 10 years. But look at your leadership. Look who was there. So we have to kind of push this more. You got 650,000 USPS employees, federal employees with all these great benefits. Yeah, there's going to be cutbacks. There's going to be nutrition and so on. But guess what? It's a young man's game, man. But let's appreciate it. Let's, as a people, appreciate it instead of downsizing it. And don't forget, the people that are unhappy working there, you can't have an excuse as an employer, management. Go out and do your job, suggest things, but man, hold on, man. I know it's terrible, but it's like playing for a bad professional team, for 10 years and all of a sudden it's over. And you want to be traded. And that no trade clause that you put together 5, 8, 10 years ago, you wish you never did it. Well, that's why they have agents. And the beautiful thing about USPS is they have a committee. They have a committee. Besides the unions. The unions, yeah, they're going to try to get as much as you can. But here's the other thing about the unions, and I got a great example. I have 2 brothers that got union pensions when they retired. So they had some substantial pensions because the union was strong at that time. Now that it's been, 10, 15 years since they retired with that pension, guess what happened to the union? Defunct. Done. Guess what happens to that monthly pension? Reduced by 80, 90%, and it's just going to go away. That'll never happen with USPS. Never. It's the federal government. And don't forget, the USPS generates its own revenue. You know what that means? Stamps, mailings, all that. So you're doing in revenue, which is sales per year, close to $90 billion. And you're number 2 of the 4 players. The 4 players, who are they? UPS is probably number 1. USPS is number 2. Then you got FedEx. You got Amazon. And don't forget DHL International. That's our international competition. Okay? So, keep thinking, man. I think it's a good thing. I'm still going to continue my due diligence. I know where to go. You go and just try it, man. It's just like going out for the pros. And the more you realize of the strength and the tradition and the institution of the USPS for the younger people, professional carriers or the professional postal employees, you got one hell of a deal, man. You got one hell of a deal. And you could always help the cause by suggesting efficiency in operations. Why do you think Doge came in and said, you know what? Everything DeJoy did off. You're fired. They fired him. He said they stepped down, but he didn't step down. He didn't step down. He was forced out. So that's my suggestion to you, is start looking at it. I think it's a beautiful thing, especially when you hear younger people. You got the security. You got all the benefits. I even looked up in AI. I don't know all of them, but there's life insurance. You got life insurance. You got dental. You got benefits. Yeah, you're working weekends and you're working hard, but guess what? That's why we, the public, appreciate you people. You deliver on weekends. You deliver to our mailboxes. This shit to the front door, you never know if you're going to get it or not. And they're trying. They're trying. So let's not be negative. Let's be positive, because change is on its way. You see what Trump's doing? He's making changes in 6 months. A lot of people, oh, no good, no good. No. No. So far in 6 months, it's helped me as a retiree. It's helped me. In fact, I love the fact that he's suggesting tax advantages and advice. That's what this Big Beautiful Bill Act is all about. This is really for taxes, for the rich, for the middle class, and for the poor. These are all advantages. So USPS, thank you for your service. I just can't wait till you come out with some new stamps, the designing of the stamps. I did look this up, by the way, because my marketer was making fun of me when I brought up about the stamps. The public needs to be deceased for at least 3 years, and it's got to be a suggestion, like Betty White. She was suggested. It passed all these committees over 3 years. They probably do the due diligence of how nasty they were and so on. So I asked, well, what about Trump? President, you got to wait at least a year after his death. So that's a hell of a legacy, huh? Having your own stamp. So I'm just giving you some thoughts, man. I go deep, as you can see. I'm having fun with this. And, you know, it's basically, you have a tremendous amount of protection. That's why people call it mail fraud. You're in trouble. That's federal offense, man. If you hurt, you know, a federal employee, including the USPS, that's a federal offense, man. And here's the other thing I started thinking, because my brother served in Vietnam. My uncles served in the Korean War, Second World War. My dad served in the Second World War. And you know what? Who could you count on? Mail. And when you were out in a battle and you got mail, you know what they did? They brought home, HOME, to these soldiers in battle. You know all the stories about people writing home and writing to their families and receiving them. Some of them were a few days. Some of them were weeks. I mean, it's beautiful, man. So you have a hell of a heritage, hell of an institution. You know, you're not going to see DHL in Iran delivering mail, okay? United States, is it going to Israel? Damn right it is. Is it going to Iran through the USPS? Probably. That's why they have international stamps. What's your favorite stamp? I'm always into the American flag, you know? I like the Purple Heart. That's cool. And I actually use different ones for different mailings. Kids, you know, cartoons or whatever it is. My dad always the Purple Heart or American flag, you know? What's another one that's cool? Oh, dogs. I always think on TikTok, you see these beautiful dogs with the mail carriers. The mail carriers giving them goodies, and they love these people, man. You know? You could count on carriers, you know? You're not going to get a fuck you from them. Or damage goods against your door and something, or knock on your door. No, they do it right. Right to your mailbox. And I like going to my mailbox because I have to get up and walk. To me, it's an exercise. It's good. And, you know, what I was thinking is, man, you know how the firemen have calendars and stuff like that? Why not carriers? There's dudes out there, beautiful women that are carriers, professional carriers. Why not? Get a Ralph Lauren look out there, but make it practical. Get some nice hats. Get a great logo. They got the 250-year anniversary. The Flying Eagle now. They're not sure if they're going to change it because it's iconic, man. The USPS. Can I go on USPS and buy their gear? No. You have to be an employee to be able to be honored to wear that badge, to wear that honor. You could go on eBay and get some shit, but not the real deal. So this is my deal, man. And just think, my father, when I look back, my father in 1947 had a chance to be a mail carrier. He turned it down for less money to be a printer and an entrepreneur. He doesn't regret it, but he respects the USPS. And he's close to 100 years old. But they would call him year after year until he said, you know what, I feel stable here at this printing company. So keep it up, kids. I call you kids because you are. And it's a good workout. Keep your attitude up. Be proud of what you're doing. And that's what I'm trying to do. Inspire you to stick and stay, man. Stick and stay. It's going to pay off. You know? So these people that told me they're happy their husbands are working there. They look at the benefits. They look at the life insurance. They look at the retirement because they're looking ahead. They're very strategic. Okay? And let's just help these people. Us Americans, let's help them. Not take them down. Not take them down. People are working on this. We got a whole new sheriff in town. Let's hope for the best and do what's right. But we can all do our own efforts. I will mail everything through USPS as far as I can go. And I'm an author. I got books and so on. So I go to USPS and I mail my books. You know, personalized and everything. So God bless you, man. And I hope we steer it up a little bit, man, to get these guys thinking about, besides vehicles and branding, how about the carriers, man? Make them look cool. You know, be proud. You can't always have to wear the New York Yankee jerseys and stuff like that. I mean, that's proud. That's pride. And these people, you can buy them and you've never played for them. What about USPS? It helps us. Let's not take these people down. Let's raise them up. Help them. Give them the tools. Not an allowance. No. Help them. Give them the tools. New vehicles, air conditioning, fair pay. Okay? I'll talk to you soon. This is Rocco, USPS. Delivering for America.